You're tuned into Recovery TV, the voice of hope, with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Discussions and information on addiction and mental health issues. Here's your host with today's guest.
Welcome to another edition of Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. Narcan, please get it. You can get it at your pharmacies, you can get it at URI. Please carry it, it saves lives. We're over 400 and some odd people who have passed away. This is the antidote that will save people. Please get it. My guest today is Jamie Angel. Jamie's going to talk about her story. Jamie is a HVAC union person. The story is unbelievable. Welcome.
Thank
you for joining us.
Anytime.
So we have a lot of people watching this show, and I want you to spill your guts.
Spill them, that's easy. Where do you want me to begin?
I want you to begin when we first started reading this at age 16 years old.
16 years old.
A long time ago, right?
Yeah, 16 years old. Wow, those were the days. But 16 years old, I was a young, up-and-coming, nationally ranked basketball player here in Rhode Island. Division I, II, and III scholarships all over. Had the world in my hands, had the ball in my court. But I was like really young, immature, self-absorbed, kind of chip on my shoulder, a lot of pressure, being in the limelight a lot, being nationally ranked, and being ranked #1 in the state. You know, I started to self-sabotage at an early age. Started at 14. You know, first time I actually dibbled and dabbled in any kind of prescription narcotics or, you know, drugs or alcohol was at 14.
Wow.
Yeah, it started pretty young, but it didn't take over my life and make my life like really unmanageable at that point. It didn't happen until like I ended up breaking my hand going into 11th grade at LaSalle Academy.
So is that when the episode of substances started?
Yeah.
When you broke your hand?
When I broke my hand, I went to an orthopedic doctor. I got one prescription on narcotic, and then my life drastically changed. It was like the first time I put that substance into my body, an addict was definitely born. It was like I was looking for that void to fill my whole life, and that drug filled the void within me. Yeah.
So you started taking opioids. Your hand got better.
Yep.
You still kept on taking out opioids.
Kept going. I was hooked.
How was your basketball game then?
Crazy to say, like I still performed on the court. I still like put up numbers. I was still doing well. You wouldn't know, and I was like living two lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at that time, I wouldn't say like my life was unmanageable to the point where like I was getting arrested or I was overdosing or things of that nature, but it definitely took me to a place that I've never been, and it made me comfortable within my own skin. So, you know, I know like family members like could tell something was up with me and what was going on, but they didn't know the depth of it, and they didn't know, like I didn't know when I woke up one day without a narcotic that there was such thing as a detox.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the doctors never told me that. Like my first drug dealer was a doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. So when you started down this road with more opioids and more, did you use alcohol along with the opioids?
Absolutely.
And you just kept on going, kept
Absolutely.
on going, kept on going. At what point did they say to you, Jamie, you got to stop?
Yeah.
Your life is in a turmoil right now. You're like in a wash machine, going around and around and around. You're a hell of a basketball player, you know, and I know that you play hockey and you do other sports, so you're an athlete. And then you see it spinning out. What did you think?
You know, at first, like, all the red flags were there, but it was like I was so young, you couldn't tell me
You
anything.
didn't see the flags.
No, I did not see
Everybody
them.
else saw the
Everybody
flag.
else did. Matter of fact, one of my college coaches, God rest his soul, he actually recently just passed. I remember him saying to my mom one day after I got in a car accident in college that I didn't know how to handle life on life's terms, the game of life, like my dad taught me. And, you know, I see that now as I progress in my recovery. I'm almost 9 years abstinent of all mind-altering substances, John, but I'll tell you what, when I did step work is when I truly realized the nature of why I did the things I did and how to combat those bad behaviors and those emotional outbursts I had, because I didn't know how to talk about how I felt and things of that nature. I realized what I could do from there to actually implement healthy coping skills and things into my life to get into recovery. But I didn't see it like others around me saw it then. I just thought it was a weekend thing. I was in high school.
Right.
I was the partier. But the grips of addiction were taking me right before my own eyes.
Your family,
My family,
mom and dad.
mom and dad.
A lot of people that have sat in that seat told me that they robbed their family blind. They did whatever they needed to do to survive. Is that the way your life was going? I mean, where did you get the money for these narcotics?
Well, to be brutally honest, I did have how I kept a job, I don't know how. Well, I do know how. Being in a union helped me, and thank God I worked for a place in a university that supported me and let me go out on medical leave multiple times, to get myself into rehab and get acclimated back into society after I, went through PHPs and outpatient programs. But to say the least would be my family never had to suffer from me. I didn't get to the level where I started robbing others or or being homeless. I could have got there if I didn't stop in 2016 where I did, but I always had a great job, so I always had money in my pocket. But I also, at one point, like I said, to be brutally honest, was selling drugs to get the drugs that I liked.
Right.
So
what was your drug of choice?
Opiates.
Alcohol?
Opiates, alcohol, pretty much anything you put in front of me, I tried.
Yeah.
But anything to get out of myself. But opiates and alcohol were definitely the two top.
So you look,
grips.
Jamie, you look back
Yeah.
to 2012 maybe. I mean, you started when you were 16.
Yep.
What are you thinking now?
Now
And
I
say,
think,
holy
wow.
God, why did I do? I had everything. I had the whole thing in my hand,
Yeah.
and then it just fell apart. But you're not the only one.
No.
There's plenty of people that sat in that chair and then told me the exact same thing. I had it all, but for one or two, breaking my hand, breaking my shoulder, breaking my leg, getting in a car accident, hurting my back, it just kept on snowballing.
Right.
And it kept on going down the hill at a faster rate. More pills, more alcohol. Where do you think you would be today?
Wow. I look back and I always say, wow, do I wish I could do it all over again and listen to the things that, my dad did instill in me. He was one of my biggest supporters. He was like a coach to me, and, mental health and addiction run deep on his side of the family, so he's witnessed this firsthand. And the last thing he thought was he'd witness it with his daughter. Mind you, he was an undercover narcotics detective in Providence.
All right, we're going to stop right there because we're going to go to break. I want to talk more about that when we come back.
All right.
You're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. We'll be right back after these messages with Jamie Angel.
And now back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, Kodak. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. Jamie Angel is in the house. She's in recovery. Now the plot thickens. Her dad was a police officer in narcotics.
Yes, he was.
So let's hear it.
So, he was an undercover narcotics detective, so when I first had to admit to him and get vulnerable that, I was suffering with a substance abuse problem, it kind of blew his mind. I know it broke his heart. But, we always used to say, I thought my goal in life at a young age was to be a professional athlete, which I did get offered to go play professionally overseas at the end of my college career, and I didn't. But I don't think that was my purpose in life. I think that was just a talent I had, and I think my purpose in life was to help any sick and suffering addict, or even another addict that's in long-term recovery, with my story, to help them relate and identify with me, and just help somebody else say, you know, me too, like I struggle with that too, and you know, we fight each day for this in recovery, one day at a time. So I truly think that's been my purpose, and not being a professional athlete, because clearly it didn't happen for a reason, but that's what
Yeah.
I had wished back then would happen.
You know, I've had Chris Herron on my show,
Yeah,
and
Chris.
he's got a great story, but when you see these professional athletes with the amount of money that they're getting paid at this point in life, there's probably more than we really think that
Yeah.
have issues with substances,
Right.
you know. And for what you do now to be an advocate, I give you a lot of credit.
Thank you.
And I give you a lot of credit for picking up a job and a profession that you do. There's not many ladies who are in the plumbing and pipe fitting
Right.
industry,
Right.
but someone with your talent can make a difference on both ends. For women that want to get into construction, and women who need to be in recovery, and also men. You know, if they read this story, it's an amazing story. You should write a book.
Thank you. I've heard that so many times.
You should write a book. I mean, it's not from where this came from to you sitting here with my show today.
Right.
It's miles. This is miles. Someone who could have, should have, or would have been a professional athlete. And for the God's sakes of opioids and other stuff that you took,
Absolutely.
you know, you're sitting here now.
Right.
But I do. I have to give you, and I have to give your mom and dad credit too.
Yeah. My mom is like my best friend. She's probably the biggest supporter I've had. She
Right.
never gave up on me. She was like my rock. Where my dad, it's not that he gave up on me, but he was very
Just
yes,
taken back.
from his past,
Right.
and you know, from the career he was in at one point. I don't think he wanted to come to the realization of what was really happening with his kid.
But the other thing is too. I mean, if I have your dad on and then I ask him those questions, he would probably say that he is so proud of you now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he is.
To turn your life around
Yeah.
and to become a mentor to others.
Right.
Where he's probably seen the other side
Yeah, he has.
of other folks who right now can't even talk to their child because we've had numerous thousands of deaths, you know, and
Yeah.
there's more. I hate to say this, but and I say this all the time, I hope someday they can just knock on the door here and say, we don't need the show anymore, we're good.
Right.
But you read in the paper all these drugs that are coming in. You read in the paper all these ships that they're sinking out into the sea, loaded with fentanyl and other drugs.
Absolutely.
We have a drug coming in now that's coming from the West Coast that's 800 times more powerful than morphine.
I saw that.
And this is not going to help.
Nope.
This is not going to help. So you're going to see the rise of kids again falling because of these narcotics that they're bringing in. But I hope that the people that are watching this show take something from it. Something that you, Jamie Angel, was an excellent basketball player, headed to overseas to play professional ball, and then all of a sudden
Boom.
there was a crack in the ship
Exactly.
and it started taking on water. But you're alive.
Amen. From Narcan, that's why I'm alive.
You're right. How many times did you overdose?
Once in 2014.
Saved by that?
Saved my life.
Who did it? Who saved you?
Providence.
Providence Fire?
Yeah.
Safe stations?
No, the rescue was called.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like unbelievable.
I know.
I had a friend of mine now who I've become close to 22 times.
Wow.
22 times. And he can live to talk about it.
That's insane.
That's insane. He
22
just kept on
times.
going. kept on going. And I talked to my fire guys, when you come out of it,
Yeah.
and I don't know if this happened to you, when you come out of it, you say to the guy, hey, whoa, what are you, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, you're confused too.
Yeah,
Very.
yeah. Now, do you go around, like, talking to the kids? You do,
Yeah,
what
I
do you-
have. I've been to a few middle school. I've been to a few high schools. I even did a Recovery Coach Academy. I've been to URI. Been to the prison. I've been
Do you teach at all?
I don't.
You don't.
I don't.
So I'm looking for instructors.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For what?
Teaching.
Teaching what?
Teaching, so-
Basketball, boxing? I can do all
Not
that.
not basketball.
Hockey?
Not hockey either.
Nah.
No, I mean, you know, your story is amazing.
Thank you.
It really is amazing. And, you know, someone who you look at, if you read it, you know, it was in the rise and fall of yourself. It was in the Cranston Legend, and that was in 2022. And when I read it, I'm saying, that's when I called you.
Yeah.
And then you sent it to me.
Yep.
And the amount of truth that was in this story. You know, it's not like a fantasy.
No.
This was real.
It's lived experience, yeah.
Right. And lived experience, when people watch this show, there's over 10,000 people on a weekend watching the show now, which is good and which is bad. I say it's bad because the 10,000 people probably know somebody
Yeah, of
or
course.
have gone through substance use and mental health. Now alcohol now has taken over the opioids, because now people are afraid to go to the street to get the opioids because of the fentanyl issue.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful. So let me ask you this question,
Shoot.
and I don't know if you'll be able to tell me, but when you took it,
Yep.
when you overdosed,
Yep.
did you know you overdosed?
No.
You just
I went out.
went out.
Yep. That's when fentanyl had just come around, and I found out there was
So it was
fentanyl. What I
fentanyl.
had, yeah.
Okay. We're going to take another quick break.
Sure.
You're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. We'll be right back after these messages.
And now back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, Kodak. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. Jamie Angel is in the house, and on break we were just talking, and I can't believe what you just told me,
Yeah.
that you lost your brother for an overdose.
Yeah. 6 years ago.
Wow. How old was he?
He was 37 when he passed.
How did... Were you using before him, or he was using before you?
I was using before he started to really dibble and dabble and experiment. Yeah. And I
Jeez.
mean, we've used together in the past, so
Yeah, poor mom and dad.
yeah. It was tough.
But you know
It was
what?
tough.
You're here to talk about it.
Yeah.
You have some vision
Yeah,
to
I
move
do.
forward. You want to open up a recovery house in his honor.
I do.
Whatever I can do to help you out, I'm in your corner.
Appreciate that.
You know, and I have to give you, your family, and the union a lot of credit. You know, I work with the unions a ton about issues with substance use and mental health. In order for trainings to happen, like someone like yourself, it's about $200,000 worth of training per
Wow.
individual to become a journeyman.
Yeah.
And if somebody dies of an overdose, that's like flushing the toilet.
Right.
It's gone.
Right.
So they've been more active with substance use and mental health.
That's a good thing.
But I do want to have you come back
All right.
on another show.
We
I want you to talk about mental health, because you
Absolutely.
had just told me you have another issue.
Yep.
But you're a great interviewer,
Thank
a great
you.
person.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best.
Appreciate that.
You know, and again, thank you for coming on.
Anytime.
Next week, folks, is Christine Nolan from the Healthy Living and Recovery will be my guest. And following this show, Kodak Live with fully integrated systems. Have a great week. Be careful. See you next week.